Starlight. Welcome to my YouTube channel, and I'm reaching out to all of you beautiful souls out there. I hope you are getting out in nature somewhere. And I'm so sorry, I really can't control the lighting in this space, not quite yet. But I have to work on that, so I'm sorry you can't really see my eyes because the way this room is in the library. But anyway, I just want to reach out to all of you and remind you that I know some of these videos lately might have been too much for some of you, but it all depends on where you are, like on your spiritual journey, you know, and your life path right now as far as your growth. So just because there's videos out there that you are not quite sure of or you don't understand, it doesn't mean that those videos are not real. So anyway, thank you all for those that have been watching any of those deeper topics that some of you might not be able to comprehend right now. And it does take time to understand a lot of the videos that I've been putting out there lately. So just to let you know, Starlight's not crazy. She's just waking up. So besides checking in with you is I want to make sure you're taking really good care of yourself. Make sure you're eating the food that is healthy for you. And a lot of times we kind of know what is good for us and what is not. So, and otherwise, sometimes your doctor might tell you certain foods that you should not eat, that is not good for you. So make sure you love yourself enough that you can let those foods that are not serving you, and of course the people in your life that you might love and might think that you would have been with them forever, but really there are some people in your life, you know, that I would have to say there might be a lot of people in your life that you might have to let them go. And I'm not here to say it's easy. It is definitely not easy. But I do know in the Bible it does say, really, if you really want to live for God and give your life over to God, those are kind of a must thing to do, but you got to really sort out the ones that really you need to let go of and the ones that you need to keep. Anyway, that is not what this video is about. If you are new to my YouTube channel, welcome, and you can find me on YouTube, and that is at Starlight, and that is Kathy with a K, Dingman. Plus, you can give this video a thumbs up. Plus, you could subscribe to my YouTube channel, and if you want, you can follow me on Instagram, and that is at 1995 Starlight, or on Facebook at Kathy with a K Dingman. And just to let you know is don't forget to check out my playlist. There is many topics. There's topics about churches. There's, you know, like there's topics about relationships, about meditations. I will have other topics soon. I just got to figure out how I'm going to add those in my playlist. So check out my playlist, because there's even a playlist called Did You Know? So you ought to check those out to find out if you know any of those things that is in the playlist of Do You Know? So anyway, I love all of you, and you can really give this video a thumbs up if you want to see a change in the world. And let's get started to this next video. So I did make a video a while back, is heaven here on earth, you know, or is this hell on earth? So there was a person that kind of made a statement, and I made a boo-boo the other day when I made a video, and I said, you know, a lot of times when I see 1111, I say, send me to heaven. And that was a part of my old version of myself that popped out and said that, because really before, when I was in church, you know, I always thought heaven was up there somewhere, you know, up in far, 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 far up in the sky. But the more I have grown in this lifetime, I really, you know, for even other times, you know, because of how my life was, or, like in my past, even like I mentioned in other videos about even before I was born, and I'm not the only one that has experienced this, where not all moms and dads, when they find out they're, with the moms, not all moms and couples, married couples, or even, couples that are just boyfriend and girlfriends, there's a lot of moms and couples that when they find out that the mommy, when they find out, ooh, I am pregnant, somebody did not use protection, that, they might not want to have that baby. So my health started before I was even born, where, it's sad, but other people go through this where the mom really might try to miscarriage the child, and it might not just happen to you, it might even happen to your brothers or sisters either before you or after you. So this is definitely something that does happen. There's a lot of women out there that do try to have a miscarriage or even have an abortions, and Starlight absolutely does not agree to that at all, because we're all spirit beings having a human experience out here. So it really isn't about, you see me as this right here, but this is really not me. I did hear somebody make a video today, a short video, and I listened to his video. He's a new YouTube person, and I believe we have the same mentor. It's kind of funny. And, I was listening to his videos to see how he's doing on his new YouTube channel. And I thought the same thing that he said. And, because we are like the, some of you might think I'm crazy when I'm going to say this, but you ready? I got to say this anyway. Really, that is what I'm here for. I'm to shock you with information and say stuff that, you might get upset with. Sometimes I'm going to say stuff that you think is crazy. Sometimes I'm going to say stuff you think I'm out of my mind or whatever. But I have to say these things whether you like it or not, kind of thing. And I'm not here to try to trigger you. I'm not here to try to scare you. I'm just trying to bring awareness so you understand really, like I've mentioned many videos, that we have been lied to. And I keep on repeating that because you need to hear it. Sometimes, we get tired of hearing the same thing all the time, but it's so necessary that you do hear these things because it is the truth. We have been lied to, and the reality that you think is not the reality at all. My whole life I knew something was messed up, even as a kid. I was trying to prove that my mom and dad were not my mom and dad. I mean, if you only knew, even my brother, today, my whole family wonder about my family that I was, where my mom gave me birth. I survived. God had a purpose for me. I survived even though my mom and dad did not want me. I was able to be strong enough to make it through, and I am able to function. It didn't mess me up where, I could have been handicapped or something like that. So I am here for a reason, so, it is something where there's kids out there that many kids go through this, lots of people all around, a lot of children in the whole world that go through this, where their mom and dad might have not want them, and where the mom could have tried to have a miscarriage by using drugs or alcohol or, medications to try to, abort that child so that it would not live through the pregnancy. But Starlight is strong, and God made sure that I was able to make it through all that. And, because of that, it's almost like that was a sign in itself that life was going to be something for Starlight, where they tried to end my life before I was even born. And and it's not my mom and dad that, it's because we're in this matrix here. And, I've made videos, and some of you might not like those videos because you don't understand, and you think that, this lady, the Starlight chick, is crazy. And no, you're 100% wrong. I am not crazy. I am just waking up. And you really ought to check out videos that I've made on spiritual awakening. And when you watch those, you definitely are going to think, what kind of drug were you on, Starlight? You know, sometimes I wasn't on any, not even marijuana, so I wasn't tripping on LSD, or any of that, so those are spiritual awakenings to wake me up to really that I realize that, wow, I have power, and there's power in the blood. We're all God's children, but anyway, I don't want to get too lost. I'm just trying to bring this stuff up in case you didn't watch this in other videos that I made to explain. So Starlight, when I went to church, I was finding out that, before I went to church is I had a friend of mine that passed away from a drug overdose. And I went to his wedding, not his wedding, I went to his funeral, and then I found out, oh my, the whole time I thought I was a good person because I didn't go out and do nothing wrong to people. I did a meditation the other day and it had me to look at my whole life and get right with those that I hurt. And I'm thinking, it was like crickets, really. I was like, I have been very super good to people. I have been my worst enemy, really. I have been my worst enemy. So it's not that Starlight went out, and not saying that I was perfect. If anything, I lied and I stole a lot when I was a kid. When I was a kid, I said, all the way up, and, really my stealing part stopped after being in jail at the age of 17, or even younger than that. It was close to 16, 17. I just was turning 17 around the time that I got arrested for stealing. So I stopped my stealing cold turkey. When you're behind the bars, that's a big wake-up call at that age, so that was a big, huge wake-up call. And so after I went to church in 95 until 2007, I was learning, I learned before at this funeral that, I had to repent of my sins or I was going to burn in hell for eternity, and gnashing and gashing of teeth, I was going to, have all this horrible stuff happen to me. And I'm like, oh, wow, I definitely didn't want to go to hell. So I did. I repented of all my sins at that funeral, and gave my heart over to God and trusted Jesus in my heart to forgive me and cleanse me of all my sins. And I accepted Jesus in my heart to save my soul from going to hell. And then I found out, after all the years I went to church, there's really the people that go to church are the ones that are, they're afraid of hell. And the ones that are spiritual are the ones that already been there. So after I started going to church, I'm like, man, what the heck is going on? My life has been a living hell. And so I got thinking, well, maybe really this planet Earth isn't really, maybe this is the hell, because, I really, you would not believe all the stuff that Starlight went through. I was doing a meditation today. It was a very powerful one. And it was clearing out a lot of energy from the time that I was in my mother's womb all the way up until now. And so I had to backflash here, from the time that I was born, and then when I was a baby, and, the stuff that was happening to Starlight, throughout her childhood. And when I say childhood, I'm saying like my 5 to 6 years old, all the way when I was a teenager, my young adult time, and, I was like, wow, what a freaking rush, there was many, 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 many things that I have endured in my whole lifetime. And that is why I have a YouTube channel. I might not be a psychologist, or a doctor, or I don't have any, quote, professions, like as far as to sit here and make a YouTube channel and do all what I'm doing. But the reason why I'm able to do what I am doing is because I have lived life. So yeah, I definitely thought that living here was hell because of my experiences. Sorry about this. Just something is just not quite right here. So, whoopsie. I'm so not used to this setting here. So anyway, yeah, that is much better. So anyway, I got thinking, I'm like, all this time I was looking to get raptured, to get out of here. I've been like, oh, please take me out of here. I've had enough. I really had my fill here on planet Earth, so for the longest time, I thought that I already been in hell, really. And they do say that you create your reality. And I'm thinking, how did I do that? I really treated everybody really good. I, not saying that I was innocent. I've had some lessons, that I had to learn when I was younger. And through all different kinds of things, I've been very faithful to almost every single male that I've been with in my life. And they got, different sayings out there. I did learn a lesson when I was like 17 years old or 18 years old, and I never did that again, so I have learned, to be faithful to a man, to be the greatest wife that I could ever be to I really did. I have worked on myself throughout my life when I went to church, and so really, you might have gone through hell in your life and think, yeah, you know what, this is hell right here. Because there's a lot of people, when they go through some hell in life, they're like, I'm living hell. This has been hell for me, my whole beginning of my life. And, some of you might relate to that. Maybe you've been abused a lot at home when you were a kid, whether it was your mom or dad, brothers or sisters, or grandpas, grandmas, aunts and uncles, cousins, all that, it doesn't matter. Maybe friends of the family, all these different relatives, stepmothers, stepfathers, you might have nailed it all, and Starlight had a taste of a lot of that when I was growing up, knowing what it was like to, understand what abuse is. I definitely got that down. I understand what abuse is and what it feels like, and not to do that to other people. And I don't feel like I asked for any of that stuff at all. So, and I know some of you might have gone through stuff like that where you're like, I didn't do anything. They're the ones that did to me, and that does happen where you were innocent. But it's sad to say, but it's really, how do you respond to all that crap? How did you respond? Did you try to revenge and try to get even with those people that did abuse you? And I definitely believe in, putting people behind bars that are guilty, that they should be locked up, and, they should learn their lessons for, abusing animals or people or children or whatever. So definitely, they should definitely learn a lesson not to do those things again. But I am here to tell you is that, planet Earth is not hell like I thought. I did go through a period of time like that where I was like, I just couldn't believe it. I'm like, and I don't say this anymore, but before, I was like, man, if one thing didn't happen to me, and, it just seemed like a nonstop, one thing right after another. Have you ever said that, man? One thing after another. And it's been like that my whole life. Up until, I have to think here. Things still keep on going on, but it's different now. Now I'm actually getting wiser. I did have my last spiritual awakening on 2022, so things were happening then. And here we're, going into 2024. I have to kind of laugh, because, yeah, so I definitely thought that this was hell right here. But, that is what the Matrix does to you, makes you think that you're already living in hell. But no, that is a lie. This is not hell right here on planet Earth, because when I go out in nature and I take a hike, and I get away from, the city scene, and I get out in the middle of nature and I get with the animals and the crows and, with Mother, with God, with the universe, is that I realized this is not hell like they want you to think. So heaven is here, and I did make that video before. So some of you might have forgot that I did make that video, but I just wanted to make this video to let you know, no, this is not hell. It is, you've been living an illusion, and that's the problem is, like I watched this video this morning from another news YouTuber. So I have to kind of laugh because things that he said, I was like, I know that we have the same mentor, so it is kind of funny. I found somebody out there because he was using the same phrases that my mentor uses. And like he said, I thought the same thing, is that we are like avatars, if I said that right, is like in a video game where so it's not about this outward appearance here. It's about your spirit. You got more than this outward appearance. And that's why some of you might not be happy with the way you look. You might have been judged harshly, about your appearance and, maybe your weight, or maybe, how you look when you look in the mirror, where you're not loving yourself like you should. It's not about the outward appearance. It's about your spirit. It's about your heart. What kind of heart do you have? So to understand, you can make this heaven on earth. It doesn't have to be hell. It's really important is how do you respond to other people, really? How do you respond when somebody doesn't treat you right? Do you try to cut them up with your tongue and try to get even with them? Because that's not what God wants us to do. It is true to speak up and use your words you got to be wise in the words that you use if you want to put somebody in their place. But it is good to not be afraid to use your voice when somebody is disrespecting you, and Starlight has been lifting up her voice. So I am so grateful for my mentor that has taught me to stand up and use my voice. My whole life I have been quiet. I have let people run over top of me, and it got to a point where I got so tired of it. It's funny, I just seen the number again, 222. I'm sorry I had to say that, but so yes, this is not hell on heaven. I mean, this is not hell here on planet Earth. And it was a boo-boo that Starlight said is 11:11, send me to heaven. I'm already here, so I just kind of want to correct that I don't want to trip you up as far as where is heaven. I was always taught when I went to church that, like we're going to rapture, out of our bodies sometime. And but really heaven is here on earth. And there is like the Jehovah's Witnesses, where when I used to go to church, they were saying that they were going around and saying that heaven was here on earth. And I just would laugh at them thinking, how could that be? Because even when I was going to church, I was going through hell. It's like, how could that be? You think that if you go to church, it would be a safe place to go to, and where you can work on yourself, but that's not even safe. So I did learn the hard way on that, and you do create your reality. So I do hope you get a, like this is really, this is heaven right here on earth. It is not, like the way I thought, and this is not hell here, and even though, I didn't ask for any of those things to happen to me when I was a kid growing up. It was all on how I responded. And, like now I realize that later on, I am going to be that one to help those people out later on in this lifetime, so it is kind of something how even though people did wickedness to me, then I realized that really, they had a choice whether they wanted to do something or not. Sometimes people get thoughts in their head which they think are their own, which are not. But you still are accountable for those things that you do or don't do. if you get a thought and you thought it was your own and you go along with it, you are still going to get judged by God, whether you went along with it or didn't, depending on if it was evil or not. So people that have done evil to you, God didn't turn a blind eye to that, So you got to understand is that your thoughts are not your own. And, but if you get a thought and you decided, oh, yes, I'm going to do that, like the devil whispers in your ear and like, hey, go do that, because believe me, Starlight had thoughts to do some horrible things to somebody in my past, which, I'll just tell you what I wanted to do, really. Somebody did something really bad to me, and I thought, how can I get even with them? And I was like, I've had my brothers saying, hey, if anybody messes with you, call us up, we'll go and kick their butt. And I was like, well, I didn't really want to kick their butt, but I thought about in a certain town, in Johnstown, New York, at the park, they used to have one of those wooden things on the park where it was made out of wood, and you would lay your head in it and your hands, so your hands and your head would be in there. And I guess a long time ago in the history that if you did something wrong, if you sinned, they would throw food at you or something. But, Starlight wanted to really get this person, lock their head in there and their hands in there, and actually strip them naked and just leave them like that, But Starlight never did do that. It's a thought. It was definitely a thought, what I wanted to do, but Starlight was good. But, so those are kind of things that Starlight thought it about to get even with somebody. But like I said, I kept my heart right, And it is something how sometimes some people can do some evil stuff to you, and then later on they're like, hey, you want to be my friends on Facebook? Really? You want to be my friend? So, yeah, don't really, God is watching everything that you do, and knows everything that you're thinking, even right now as you're watching my video. God knows every thought right now going on inside your brain. So, you got to control yourself and do good unto people. Don't do evil unto people, and don't, it's not your place to have revenge. It says, revenge is mine, saith the Lord. So, you're just going to have to let God take care of that mess, and just keep your heart right, don't turn like your heart, like a stone. You got to keep your heart right, and not let envy and strife in your heart, because that's what happened to a lot of people in this world. And that's why there's people out there now that don't even want to get in a real relationship with anybody, because their heart, they need to work in their heart space, about the hurt that they've gone through in other past relationships, like being cheated on or being abused or whatever. So we need to keep our heart right with other people. And like I said, God sees all. It says the eyes of the Lord are everywhere. I'm not going to get all these things right, but, the eyes of the Lord are everywhere. You can't get away with shit. Some people think, hey, there's no God out there. Look at all the crap I've done in my lifetime. I used to beat women up and, beat guys up and lie to people, steal from people, and I never got to jail. Nobody's watching my ass. Yeah, God is. God sees all. God knows all. So you're not deceiving anyone. The only one that you're deceiving, if you're guilty of anything like that, is yourself. So anyway, I do love you. And you create your reality, and it really, it's all on how you react and respond to people, and, keeping your heart right. Whoopsie. So anyway, I do love you. This is Starlight. You can give this video a thumbs up if you want to see a change in the world. Also, you could subscribe to my YouTube channel, and you can share my videos with your family, your cat, your friends. A dog, and I just seen a doe this morning. I seen little Bambi out there, out in the park. Also, you can follow me on Instagram, and that is at 1995 Starlight, or on Facebook, and that is Kathy with a K Dingman Starlight. So if you have gone through hell, what you need to do really is to meditate. Learn how to do guided meditation, and I'm letting you know my favorite of all people or men or women that does guided. I have a few that I really, really love. I get a lot of help from their guided meditations, but my favorite of all is the Soul Matrix, and that is Steve Noble. I'm telling you, I just don't know what planet he came from, but I do. I love him so much. I'm always going to his channel, because I do. That's where you're going to get the healing, is to heal that past trauma that you've gone through, the abuse or whatever you've gone through. He's helped me clear out so much in my body, through my whole spirit, my chakras, and all that stuff. So really, if you want some serious ass guided meditations, Soul Matrix, Steve Noble is the guy to go to. So anyway, I do love all of you. This is Starlight. Love, light, and peace.